Hello, Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube fans, and welcome to the SmackDown review for the 21st of August 2020. Can this show get worse? I think I ask that question on a weekly basis. The answer always seems to be no, and then each week proves that I am wrong. So, we open the program with Vince McMahon already in the ring. I'm not quite sure why he needed to be there. I will say he looks completely just elderly at this point. I don't know that trotting him out on TV is good for business. Anyway, a bunch of fans who, if you watch the background, don't seem to blink very often, are on LED boards. And they're visible on camera. I don't know if they pipe noise in or whether the fans were actually making noise. I guess this looks better than the Performance Center, but really, after the first couple of segments, it was inconsequential to the enjoyment of the product. Anyway, The Fiend makes his way out, interrupts Vince. Fiend goes face-to-face with McMahon. Braun Strowman makes his way out. They have a stare-down with each other. McMahon disappears. Lights go out. In comes the Retribution. They surround both Strowman and The Fiend. The lights go out again. Fiend is gone. Retribution jumps Strowman. They take him down. The entire roster comes. The SmackDown roster runs out to save, clears the ring. Miz runs out last. That's why I think Miz is behind this in some way, or that's what they're going to reveal. Drew Gulak, of all people, helps up Strowman. But Strowman snaps and pushes him down. And Strowman throws Jey Uso across the ring. I suppose Strowman is a quasi-heel now. I'm not sure that anybody really cares. Then we go to the first match of the night, Big E versus Sheamus, which match-wise, in and of itself, wasn't bad, I guess. I mean, it wasn't like anything to write home about, but at the same time, it also wasn't a terrible match or anything. So the entire roster remains at ringside. They don't do this for later matches, but did it for this one. Sheamus takes advantage. Big E tackles him into the steps. He takes over, follows up with a splash on the apron. Sheamus recovers, hits a clothesline from the top. Sheamus hits the backbreaker for a near fall. Then we see the lights being played with again. Michael Cole acknowledges Retribution being possibly back. We go to the break. We come back. Belly-to-belly overhead suplex by Big E, which was well done. And then a splash. He gets a near fall off that. Sheamus takes over again. The spear by Big E is blocked by Sheamus. King Corbin is yelling at Matt Riddle, which, gosh, why are they wasting Riddle this way? Anyway, they start fighting. Rest of the roster tries to break it up. Trainer's checking on Jeff Hardy for his match later tonight. The 42-year-old Jeff Hardy is still trying to look hip for reasons I do not understand. Someone hit Hardy from behind. I guess he wasn't able to. They didn't think he'd be able to go. He asked for a knee brace because he has a match later. Lucha House Party was on their way to the ring. Sheamus gets the win, by the way. Big E gets the win over Sheamus, thankfully. I don't know. Big E, they have an opportunity here to... I'd be preparing him for the winner of The Fiend and Braun Strowman. Like, if the members of New Day are going to be out for an extended period of time, now's the time. Not that Big E is, like, super young, but he's different. And I think on the heels of Kofi winning, I think racial diversity is important right now. I also think a different looking champion is important right now. The Braun Strowman experiment isn't working. I think Big E is more over than Braun Strowman perhaps has ever been, but certainly is right now. Strike while the iron's hot and take advantage of that. So we go to the SmackDown Tag Champions, Cesaro and Nakamura, easy for me to say, against Lucha House Party with Kalisto. Match was fine. I don't really care. Like, I care about the champions because I care about Cesaro. If Cesaro wasn't part of the tag team champions, I wouldn't care about Nakamura because his time has come and gone with this company. Lucha House Party to me will always be one level above enhancement talent. I don't care how much they try to rehab them. They've done enough over the last 25 years to devalue Lucha unless your name is Rey Mysterio Jr. And so I can't get into Lucha House Party for that reason. They're a good act for kids, but they're not a good act to draw on a network like Fox. Anyway, fans make noise for this. Heels in control early. Cesaro slows down with a chin lock. We see head scissors, and heels take back over after every offensive flurry from the babyfaces. Miz and John Morrison are watching in the back. They are they're talking over the announcers, which honestly they're better than the announcers, so why not? Grand Metalik recovers, hits a Rana on Cesaro off the top. Dorado gets in and goes nuts. He hits a super kick on Nakamura and hit 3 moonsaults in a row for near fall. Dorado hits a Rana on Cesaro, sending him to the floor. Metalik dives to the outside. He lands a little hard on this. Cesaro goes back in, hits and makes a blind tag, hits a near fall finish. Sees Dorado attempt to roll up Cesaro, rolls through, and he gets pinned. Post match, Dorado and Kalisto get into an argument, start shoving each other. I suppose this eventually means Kalisto goes heel, which heel luchador could be fun. Although, aren't we doing that on NXT with El Hijo de Fantasma's bunch? Anyway, so Cole and Graves show footage from AJ during the brawl. Caleb Braxton interviews Styles. He makes fun of Jeff Hardy. Styles runs into Bayley and Sasha Banks. They put each other over. Caleb Braxton interviews Mandy Rose. Rose is kind of nervous about facing Sonya at SummerSlam and wants to put it all behind them. She's willing to cancel the match for the sake of their friendship. Isn't their friendship like dead in the water after all that's happened to them over the last several months? If not, that's a really forgiving friend you got there. So Bayley and Sasha cut a promo. Corey Graves interviews them. I used to like Graves. Now I just find him grating and somewhat frustrating. Obviously both of them defend against Asuka. Graves tries to stir things up between the two of them, saying they're not getting along. Graves wondered if either one of them could beat Asuka at SummerSlam. Bayley suggested she face Asuka second. Naomi's music hits out of nowhere. Don't know why Naomi. Don't know where she's really been. I mean, she's been here and there, but she hasn't been in a major program in quite a bit. The Sasha and Bayley make fun of her. Graves suggests her taking both of them on in separate matches days before SummerSlam with no prompting. If this doesn't stream filling TV time for the sake of no reason, then I don't know what does. They do beat the clock matches. Person with a better time beats that, has to go second, or gets to go second. Person with the worst time goes first. The match starts with Sasha Banks and Naomi. They don't hit a good pace with each other. So Match was fine. Naomi has an early advantage. She's in control for the first part. Naomi stops to do a handstand and sends Banks to the floor with a head scissors. She nails a plancha to the floor. Banks comes back in, gains control. Naomi schoolgirls her for a close near fall, and Banks wins with the Banks statement at 3 minutes 39 seconds. I don't know. Bayley jumps Naomi at the bell and beats her down. Bayley's firmly in control, but Naomi fights back. Bayley misses a knee and Naomi hits the rear view for the win. Why Bayley is dropping a fall to Naomi? I hope this doesn't mean Naomi, who I used to enjoy, but she's been so erratic on television. She's another person that when I see her, I see missed opportunity. But anyway, Banks goes against Asuka second at SummerSlam, which means Bayley has to start. Bayley's unhappy. Banks tries to hide a smile at being the one in the second position. Asuka comes out, promises to win both championships, which I hope they don't do. Banks runs towards Asuka. Asuka knocks her out with a kick to the head. Asuka goes after Bayley. Bayley bails out. She checks on Sasha, but only after Asuka's disappeared. Kayla Braxton tries to approach Sonya Deville in an interview, but she wants to talk to the fans in the arena. The fans give her a decent reaction. Dana Brooke approached Deville, says she's had a lot going on this week. Boy, that's an understatement. For those that don't know, she almost got kidnapped by a stalker in real life. Deville said it's nothing and she can't handle, and slaps Brooks really, really hard. Dana is another wasted talent they have. How many people does this company have to waste? I know the writers will say, well, there's not enough time to put everybody in a good segment. Well, then why do you bring so many new people up if you're just going to burn through them like they don't matter? It's ridiculous. And don't say you have to go with established talent. In a proper promotion, it's 50% established, 50% new talent, so you're always cycling people in. It's not that difficult. Morons. Anyway, so Sonya walks onto the ramp to address Mandy Rose. Deville notes that she knows Rose would back out of her own stipulations. Deville doesn't care if she's bald or not. However, she raises the stakes, makes the match a no DQ. Loser must leave WWE. I don't know where this is going. I don't think they need to do loser needs to leave WWE, but that just seems ridiculous. So then we go to Strowman, Alexa Bliss, Fiend Angle recap. I don't care about any of this. The only thing I remotely care about in the whole thing is where Alexa Bliss goes, but it's so predictable that she'll eventually side with Bray. It's anticlimactic. Bray's going to host a new episode of the Firefly Funhouse. Say that 3 times fast. Later on. Jeff Hardy defeats AJ Styles to win the Intercontinental Championship. So 2 guys over 40 are fighting over the second most important belt on the SmackDown brand. Not that I have problems with guys over 40, but if the idea is to get the 18 to 49 demographic, who maybe you want to have a champion that's, I don't know, in their 20s, early 30s at oldest. This is not rocket science here, folks. Anyway, Daniel Bryan shows up on Zoom. He mocks Styles, hopes Hardy can capture the championship. Hardy and Styles have a decent enough match. The acknowledgement of the knee injury and the focus of the knee injury is a big deal and plays into the finish of the match. Hardy limps out on his bad knee. Styles goes right after the knee. And there's a decent big back body drop out of this. Don't see those very often. Styles takes over, stays on the knee. Styles exposes the knee, brace, and the injured knee. Whips Hardy across the ring. Hardy's knee gives out. I mean, they do tell a good story here, and it is the best match of SmackDown thus far, although that doesn't take very much. Styles, challenges Hardy to get back up, and another backdrop, this time to the outside, but Hardy hits a sliding drop kick. Styles catches the leg, sends him in the apron. We go to the break. We return. Styles is in control upon the return. Hardy hits a basement drop kick and gets a couple near falls out of it. Hardy attempts the twist of fate. Styles counters it with a Pele kick. He jumps up for the whisper in the wind, but the knee gives out again. He crumples to the mat. Styles attempted the phenomenal forearm. Hardy caught him with a shot to the midsection. Styles locks in the calf crusher. Hardy makes a break to the ropes. Styles attempts the Styles clash. Hardy hits Styles in the face with the knee brace, then hits Twist of Fate, Swanton bomb to win the title. Kyla Braxton interviews Hardy in the ring, talks about overcoming his personal struggles. Guess this is fine, but Hardy, he's on his last run. AJ says he wants to retire in 2 or 3 years. Put somebody who's going to be there in 5 years in a position to do some good. AJ can bring a good match out of anybody. Hardy can bring a good match out of at least 3/4 of the roster. Why are they fighting each other anyway? Styles is yelling at Joseph Park because he lost the championship. He blames Parks for the loss. Okay, so Bray comes out with another Firefly Funhouse thing. Tells the audience he loves them. Says love is a tricky thing. Too much love can turn flowers into wasteland. Not sure how that works. Didn't learn that in science. Wyatt puts his gloves on. Spoke to someone on his hand. Rambling Rabbit and the Pig. Then parodied Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman from last week. Wyatt was furious when they went off script. So the puppets go off script. So Wyatt noted that he can't wait to get his hands on Strowman. Suddenly Wyatt stops talking. He peeks around and says, "What took you so long?" Braun Strowman runs in, beats down Wyatt, and he's not done. They cut to commercial. Back from commercial, Corey Graves and Michael Cole noted they're trying to get the cameras to the back to catch the fight between Strowman and Bray. Graves pointed out Strowman somehow entered the Firefly Funhouse in an alternative universe. How this works, we don't know. He also says he knows where the door was located. Again, we don't know how. Cameras cut to backstage. They're brawling around. Strowman smiles, tosses Bray off a ledge onto concrete below. They portray this as a big fall. Referees run out to check on Bray Wyatt. So apparently we're supposed to have sympathy for Bray. Ambulance arrives, loads Wyatt into the ambulance. Ambulance stops. Starts to back up. One of the agents yells that they're going the wrong way. And they do a close-up of Pierce, Sunday Jutt, and other officials. Camera spins around. Fiend emerges from the ambulance, stood there. He starts to laugh, ends the show. This is such a hokey angle. Like, number one, there are no pay-per-views anymore. I get that. I'm not stupid. But if there was, you're going to tell me that there are people that would pay $40 or $50 to see this? The conclusion of this? And this is what you put on network television? Ugh. Anyway, there's your SmackDown review. I'll be back with AEW and the NXT TakeOver review, hopefully before the night is out, depending on what my schedule looks like. But until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.